Hello everyone and welcome. My name's Richard Watson and this is Anglais the Easy Way. Today I thought I would help you to become an expert in how to use the expression used to. This is a favorite problem among my students. And no matter how many times we do it, they kind of just go back to what they originally learned at school perhaps and get it wrong. Now, there are two things to realize. There are two expressions with used to, and people mix them up. The first one, I'll give you an example. I used to live in New Zealand. That's the first one. I used to live in New Zealand. And the second one is, for example, I'm getting used to speaking in a studio. Now, what I hear with my students is things like, I'm used to work in Paris. That doesn't work. You have to decide either I used to or I am used to, and then we need ing. I'm used to working. I'm used to getting. Now, the first thing you should notice is we don't say used to. We say used to. If you use the verb to use in a normal situation, like I used two different colors in my drawing, that's the verb to use. And we pronounce it like use. But when we use it in an auxiliary sense, we take the voice off the Z, and the Z becomes an S, and the D becomes a T. And so we say used to. And that's how we know that it's not the verb use with to after it. So I'll give you them again. The verb to use, I used two different colors in my drawing. And this other one, I used to work with him. The second thing you can notice when I'm doing that is, look how we pronounce the word to. I used two different colors in my drawing, and I used to work with him. Much lighter, the second one. So I used to is for old habits, like I used to live in New Zealand. It's kind of a get out of jail free card or a joke or a free pass when you're talking about the past and you don't want to use a time reference, right? Remember in English, when you use the past, typically you need some kind of time reference, except this one. That's quite a big deal. You should use it. Did you notice I said use with a Z? Anyway. The second one, I am used to working. It's for things I'm accustomed to, but it's not really for habits. It means I've become accustomed. I'll say them again. I used to live in New Zealand. I'm used to working in the studio. Or get used to it. Or I'll never get used to Paris. Or I'll never get used to French. It's too hard. Now, people will ask me, why do you have ing after to? And the reason is that to can be a preposition. And we should know already, when you have a preposition in English, you can put a noun. For example, I'm thinking of my holidays, or I'm worried about you, or concentrate on your work, I'm not very good at chess, or thank you for all your help. Okay, we're putting a noun after a preposition. But anytime we want to put a verb after a preposition, we need to use the gerund with ing. Listen to how it works. With a noun, I'm thinking of my holidays. With a verb, I'm thinking about changing my job. I'm worried about you. I'm worried about walking home alone. Concentrate on your work. Concentrate on speaking clearly. I'm not very good at chess. I'm not very good at explaining grammar. Thank you for all your help. Thank you for coming. So one of the strongest rules we have in English is when you have a preposition and you put a verb just after it, it will always go into the ing form, always. So that's how you recognize if to is a preposition or part of the infinitive. Can you put a verb after it or can you put a noun after it? If you can do both, it's a preposition. If you think you can understand that, just be careful. One of the big problems for French people is that the way we use a preposition and then a verb often is not the way French people do it. And it feels awkward to say. Listen, I'll say them again. Try and imagine how you would say them in French. And would you use a verb or would you use a noun? I'm thinking of changing my job. I'm worried about walking home alone. Concentrate on speaking clearly. I'm not very good at explaining. You really have to change the structure quite a bit if you're thinking in French to be able to say them in English. So these don't feel very natural for French people. Again, the rule is 100% sure. So you can actually practice using them anytime you want. Make a sentence with a preposition and a noun, and then change the noun, take it away, and put a verb with ing. I guarantee it works. Anyway, that's enough for this time. I'll see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe.